Okay, we had a level sweep and some rotation, so I'm playing it light for the evening session. And we'll see what happens. We have major CPI news tomorrow morning, so that's good. We've had some narrow range action. Today was decent. I did pretty good today. What did I end up doing today? I think I did like 900 and change per 150K account. And yesterday, I think I did 570. So it was a junk open, very light institutional activity in the beginning portion of the morning. And when I see that, and then when I get one nice linear move, I don't care which direction it goes, and it's like, okay, I'm done. If I'm busy, I'm going to sit there and watch it for a long time. That's fine. But I will say, I get statistics from somebody on NQ stuff, and obviously MNQ is related, but you'll have a day like yesterday. That's why when I see a day like yesterday where it's just a scrub range in the beginning, I don't even care. It's like I know they're so rare. So the amount of range out of like the opening 30 minutes and then what it did after that for the next hour and a half is like you'll get one day like that out of every 78 NQ trading days. So it's like who cares about it? And that's why like when running automated, you have a daily profit objective and you have a daily max loss. And if you get a day like that and you hit max loss, next, set that day down like old luggage and walk away. Uh, I've been getting some emails on reversal trading, and I do have a little technique. I don't think I've ever shown anybody this, and this is another reason why I incorporated the dots, which are kind of heads up, part of more the vertical line reversal signals. So I have the dots on because I use them at times when I'm trading manually, and I kind of want to show you something right now. So let me pull up a brand new chart I made, and I go a higher time frame than the 37. So I'll pull that up. So the nice thing about the AIQ1 indicator, which powers these dots and the momentum burst signals, which are the squares or the vertical line reversal signals, uh, everything's adjustable. We have multiple axes of adjustability. So you can adjust the indicator more ways than one. So AIQ1, we can adjust the period, we can adjust the phase. I always leave phase at 0. The predominance of my trading, I use the MA1 indicator. MA2 is for using a step style. That's a whole other video. And then to adjust the step style there, I always have better formula checked and so on. So I do have the dots on, but I've bumped this up to a higher time frame. So I'm on a 45 AIQ, Algo IQ. AIQ is short for Algo IQ. And what I'm looking for is just to do quick scalping on reversals. And in the end, trading is an individual sport. So you have to kind of dial it in visually to what works for you. But you could go a little bit lower time frame this, a little bit higher time frame, and then adjust the AIQ1 settings to make it more responsive to price or less. I find this is a decent time frame for this approach, especially if I have a day where it grinds out of the open. So I'm not getting a lot of back and forth. So that's why I raise the time frame to minimize the amount of noise of price action. And when you get a long grinding uptrend where every little pullback institutional side is coming in and juicing it a little bit to the long side, knowing that at the end of the day they're going to push a level to park the market higher, then you're not kind of going back and forth and back and forth in that. So I never really take signals until 2 minutes after the U.S. cash session open. This is Globex time, Chicago. Obviously, we're trading futures instruments. So I have my chart on Chicago, Chicago U.S. Central Time. So watch this. The first Dodger blue dot at that bar close. And these you could even use a limit order at the bar close price if you wanted to, or a tick or two better. And so in other words, you're putting a limit order to get into your trades. You're basically getting, you're picking the price you want to get filled at. You're not jumping in with market order, because at this high of a time frame, the market is going to wobble enough or have enough vertical noise in it that you should always get filled, especially if you put bar closing price or maybe a tick better. So here's first magenta blue dot. So right away, 2 minutes have gone by. We're getting into 3 minutes out of the open, and I have not a magenta, but I have a Dodger blue dot. So that means, hey, I'm getting evidence of a reversal since our last dot. Market's kind of crawled up and now it's showing evidence of rotating. There's the entry. So and as long as I keep getting these Dodger blue dots and I'm not getting aqua dots, I can stay in the trade, basically. The first time I get a aqua dot, I need to either tighten stops, because you might be in a trade that just ripped and you're, one and done. But, the market grinded again today, back and forth, back and forth. But the dots are kind of my guardrails, I guess you could say it. And the market moved a decent amount in my intended direction. So as a quick scalper, you see it come down, then it lifts, comes back against your entry. See it comes down, not able to break that pivot, lifts a little bit. At least you get a lower pivot high. That'd be encouraging. I'm still getting slap down candles. I'm still getting Dodger blue dots. And then what I'd be looking for, okay, the first time I can break below these pivots and get a little bit of a run, that's what I'm going to watch. And there was some, I wouldn't say prominent support, but there was some support off to the left. So you get a little bit of a move. And if it doesn't follow through, then it doesn't follow through. So let's say you just stayed in it until you got an aqua dot. So let's clean this up. So your first entry would be from here to here. So we'll call that a scratch. Or, barely, slightly, you made, a little bit of, you made, I don't know, whatever, how many ticks that is. So then you get a long signal. So now I'm long. So I could hit the reversal button, or I could close the first position, put in a limit order, get filled. I get filled. And the nice thing, it's very, very high percentage. You're going to get some max excursion in your intended, or you're going to get some, not max excursion. You're going to get some movement of price in your intended direction, like very high percentage of the time. So as that happens, that would allow somebody to take a stop and march it up or bleed out risk. And I have my philosophies on where to put where to put stops on a trade like this. We'll cover that in a second. So first trade made, we'll call that a scratch. Second trade lifted right away. Sellers came in and hit it. So I'm going from Dodger blue to aqua dot to Dodger blue dot. On this trade, it loses a little bit. So my point is, in a junk range, narrow range open, where the market really can't make up its mind, I'm not having anything happen to me that's putting my prop count at risk, especially if I'm trading modest or conservative position size. So let's say I'm trading 150K account. I might be trading 3, 4, 5 M&Qs on these trades. And then as I build confidence in that I'm on the right time frame, I got it dialed in, you could go up from there as you get more confident with this approach. Now, this is kind of important right here. So let's segment a line from entry to entry. Short, really didn't make anything. Long, lost a little bit. Now I get my linear price movement. So there is a dot. And in other words, I'm getting in on the first hints of some statistical rotation of price taking place to create the dots. That one gives me a run. So if I'm trading 3, 4, 5 MNQs, I've been 1 trade, 2 trade, 3 trade, and I basically could be done for the day. If I'm just trying to get $400 or $500 on my 150K account, as I'm building some confidence in in a specific style of trading, then hey, you're doing just fine. Now let's say for whatever reason I'm greedy, I want to keep going. Okay, I get a counter dot after that nice linear downward price movement. It's kind of more of a probe. I get a long signal, so short to long, long to short, so that's a scratch. Then I get a short signal, and what you're hoping for here, because you have the dot, okay, let's come down, retest that low that we just made and peak our head lower. But we junk around, and you can see we got a W pattern forming here. And it's not like it was a heavy news day or anything. There was like really nothing going on. So, we keep seeing these markets drift higher. But in the end, let's just take every signal. So we'll call that scratch. We'll call it small loser, nice winner. Get long, scratch trade here. Then I lose a little bit here. Here I get an aqua dot. Here I had a Dodger blue dot. I flip directions, I'm long, and I ride that baby for hours. Not until after the reopen did we get a dot and short, and that's why I'm short right now. So grind away, take me to the promised land. Thank you for not only getting daily goal, but well over. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trades on a day like this. Not uncommon. Now, when the market has more of what I would call a normal daily range, the moves are wondrous off of these, and it's the amount of price movement in your intended direction on a lot of these trades is very high, even though you're on a higher time frame. And it's kind of like you're more attacking the bigger picture structural moves on the day, even though you're in a scalping mode. So in the end, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 qualified signals using this approach. We had 1 scratch, 2 scratch, 1 loser, 2 loser. We had 1 nice winner here, 1 nice winner there. So we only had 2 trades that had what I would call pretty decent runs. And I had 2 trades that were scratch, 2 that are losers. So out of 6 trades, 2, I don't care. If I took these all perfectly automated, I would have ended the day fantastic. Now, there's many days you get 1 signal out of the open and it just rips. Usually, lately, it's been more to the upside and a few times to the downside. I remember one day I just wanted to get in the market out of the open because it was very reactive before the open. First signal I got, it was short. Next thing I know, the market's down like 112 points. I was like, woo, and I think that day I did like 2K in total. And then another big thing I want to bring up. When you get a really nice linear price movement, a lot of times after that, I wouldn't say, like it's not like you're going to suddenly then get another big linear price movement. You might need to oscillate a bit before you get the next linear price movement, whether it's up or down. So it's when you're hand trading these type of setups, you can also look at levels, pay attention to price patterns. Like here, we had a level sweep. Then I get the dot. Okay, I'm going to work in some liquidity. Not a lot because it's, evening session. But here we had a W pattern. Maybe you wanted to get long in the day. Oh, I got a long. I have a W pattern. Okay, I'm taking that dot. Waiting. Oh, I get the dot. I get the audible tone. Boom, I'm in. Stop down, never more than most recent price pivot, and off it goes, and it grinds and grinds and grinds, and throughout the day you can move your stop up higher and higher and so on. Now, another way you can put the AIQ1 indicator and make your scalp dots, reversal heads up dots more prominent. You could be taking quick scalps in alignment with the, our super band's trend direction. So just say, hey, I'm going to take longs that are at the mid band or below in alignment with a prevailing super band's trend. Or if I have a super band's trend downward, as I'm getting kickbacks and scalp dots or reversal dots in alignment with the downtrend, you can work trades that way. So in the end, you can mix and match and put the AIQ1 indicator on about any chart setup that you want to identify those reversal points. And so, in other words, you can trade the reversal points actually as trend continuation trades, not as exact reversal trades like I just demonstrated here. This, I'm showing it as just like, for the most part, a pure reversal mode type trade activity, not really paying attention to what's the predominant trend by the look of the superbands indicator. So all these tools, none of them recalculate, none of them repaint on live data, replay data, and so on. These are all fixed plot, bar by bar. At every bar close, the plot of the indicator locks down and is fixed, whether it's the superbands, whether it's the AIQ bands, which is a different style of bands, or whether it's the AIQ1 indicator. All our tools are fixed plot, no recalculating, no repainting indicators. So there you have it. Just want to show you another way you could use the tools to kind of step outside of the box of thinking and look at the possibilities with the Algo IQ program tools. So there you have it. If you have any other questions, let us know at info@gridalgo.com. Have a fantastic day.